What if I told you that the entire story of Jujutsu Kaisen, from Yuji Itadori's birth to the sealing of Gojo and the chaos of the Culling Game, was just a science experiment, run by a 1,000-year-old brain in a jar who was bored? That one insane question is the key to unlocking the greatest conspiracy in modern anime. For a millennium, one man has been playing a secret game, and we've all just been watching the pieces move. But how did he do it? How did he hide in plain sight? And what is his true terrifying goal? Welcome back to the Anime Bureau, agents. Today we are officially opening the case file on Kenjaku. Forget everything you think you know. We're not just looking at a villain, we're deconstructing the perfect 1,000-year crime. And by the end of this video, you will understand his entire master plan. Now, for any new agents, here's the 60-second briefing. Our suspect, Kenjaku, is an ancient sorcerer whose cursed technique is the ultimate party trick. He can literally swap his brain into other people's dead bodies, stealing their faces, their memories, and their powers. He's a ghost who has been wearing history's most important people like a change of clothes. Our investigation today will answer 4 key questions that will solve this entire mystery. Let's begin. Question number 1. Who is Kenjaku really? To understand the crime, you have to understand the criminal. Kenjaku isn't just a body hopper, he's a collector. Each body he takes is a strategic asset. His innate technique is a physical transplantation of his brain, which contains his entire soul. The stitches on his forehead? That's a binding vow. He makes himself identifiable in exchange for making the brain swap work perfectly every time. He gains full control of the host's body and, most importantly, their engraved curse technique, which he can add to his personal arsenal of up to 4 abilities. Centuries ago, he was Noritoshi Kamo, using the powerful Kamo family name as a shield to conduct his creepy cursed womb experiments. This was his research and development phase. By creating the death paintings, hybrids of human and cursed spirit, he was perfecting the techniques he would later need to create Yuji and manipulate Tengen. He was basically cooking up his endgame ingredients in a noble family's basement. Then, just a couple of decades ago, he was Kaori Itadori, and this is where it gets deeply weird. He hijacked a woman's body for the sole purpose of giving birth to Yuji Itadori. I mean, the sheer insane dedication. He didn't just find a vessel for Sukuna, he custom-built one. Yuji was genetically engineered to be preternaturally strong, and most importantly, to have the unique constitution to contain a soul as powerful as Sukuna's without immediately crumbling. He was a science project who was told he was a real boy. And as a bonus, he even picked up Kaori's anti-gravity system technique along the way. And finally, his modern look, Suguru Geto. This was the endgame, the master stroke. Geto's cursed spirit manipulation was the one and only skeleton key that could unlock the final stage of his plan. Why? Because Master Tengen, the immortal barrier master of the Jujutsu world, had failed a crucial merger and was evolving into a state more like a cursed spirit. This made Tengen vulnerable to the one technique that could control cursed spirits. Getting Geto's body wasn't a lucky break, it was Kenjaku collecting the last Infinity Stone for his gauntlet. So, the answer to question number 1? Kenjaku is a master strategist who treats people and their entire bloodlines as tools to be acquired and used. Okay, so he had the tools, but that leads to our next, much bigger question. Question number 2. How do you eliminate Satoru Gojo, a man who is basically a walking cheat code for reality? The answer is brilliant. You don't. You don't fight him. You don't out-muscle him. You pull off a psychological heist. The entire Shibuya incident was a beautifully crafted trap designed to exploit one thing: Gojo's heart. Kenjaku flooded Shibuya with civilians, forcing Gojo to pop his domain for just 0.2 seconds, enough to cause a system reboot in his brain. And in that split second of vulnerability, he played his cruelest card. He walked out wearing the face of Gojo's one and only best friend. The shock, the memories, the sheer emotional overload. A full minute of thought passed in Gojo's supercomputer brain in an instant. The prison realm's activation condition is that the target has to stay within a 4-meter radius for 1 perceived minute. For Gojo, whose 6 eyes process information at an impossible speed, that one moment of hesitation was an eternity. The condition was met. Kenjaku didn't beat him with a curse, he beat him with nostalgia. A perfect, soul-crushing checkmate. The answer to question number 2? You don't fight a god with power, you fight him with his own humanity. With Gojo in a box, Kenjaku could finally start the main event. Which brings us to our third crucial question. Question number 3. What is the Culling Game, really? Forget what you think you know. It's not a tournament. It's not a battle royale. It's a country-sized power plant that runs on death. Kenjaku spent centuries collecting ancient sorcerers like they were rare Pokemon cards, turning them into cursed objects, and then unleashed them on modern Japan. The game's rules, kill to get points, lose your technique if you don't participate, aren't for sport. They're to make sure the bloodshed never stops. Why? Because every ounce of cursed energy from those fights was being harvested. The 10 colonies across Japan were just containment fields, channeling all that death energy into one massive battery. He turned the entire nation of Japan into a giant sacrificial altar for his final act. The answer to question number 3? The Culling Game is a ritual. A massive, horrifying machine designed for one single purpose. And that brings us to our final, most important question, the one that unlocks everything. Question number 4. Why? Why do all this? For power? For control? World domination? It's all too boring for him. The evidence just doesn't support it. Kenjaku has had power for 1,000 years. His plan isn't to create order, it's to create pure, beautiful, uncontrollable chaos. The chilling truth, the answer he gives himself, is pure, unadulterated curiosity. Imagine being 1,000 years old. You've seen it all, done it all, you're bored. So what do? You decide to kickstart the next stage of human evolution just to have something interesting to watch. His entire plan, the body hopping, engineering Yuji, sealing Gojo, the thousands dead in the Culling Game, it was all just the prep work for one massive science experiment. He wanted to force a merger between the immortal Master Tengen and everyone in Japan to create a new form of life. And the most terrifying part, he had no idea what it would be. He wasn't following a blueprint. He just wanted to throw a bunch of stuff in a cosmic blender and hit puree. This isn't the evil of a king. This is the amoral, detached curiosity of a god who sees our entire world as his personal petri dish. Our lives, our suffering, it was all just incidental data for his ultimate what if. But curiosity feels too simple, doesn't it? It's the answer, but it's not the truth. To understand the real motive, we have to look at this from a different angle. This is where we deliver the Bureau's final verdict. Kenjaku's problem isn't that he's evil. His problem is that he's an immortal being who has solved the universe. After 1,000 years, there are no more surprises. He understands cursed techniques, souls, and the flow of life and death better than anyone. He has reached the absolute peak of knowledge, and it is an agonizingly boring place to be. His entire 1,000-year plan is not an act of malice. It is a desperate, insane attempt to escape his own omniscience. He isn't trying to create a monster to control the world. He's trying to create a monster that is beyond his control. He's trying to create something so chaotic, so new, so unpredictable, that it would finally give him something interesting to watch. This is the ultimate tragedy of Kenjaku. He's not a god playing with mortals. He's a genius trapped in a solved puzzle, and he's willing to burn the whole world down just to create a new one he doesn't have the answer to. He isn't the architect of chaos. He is a prisoner of order, his own perfect, suffocating understanding of everything. And his experiment is a jailbreak. It's a heavy one, isn't it? It's easy to get lost in the power levels and fight scenes, but this, for me, is the real genius of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's a story that explores not just evil, but a kind of indifference that's almost scarier. That's what we do here at the Bureau. We look for the human or inhuman truth behind the spectacle. If you appreciate this level of deep dive investigation, and you want to be part of an agency that cracks these cases wide open, then consider this your official invitation. Make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell to be deputized for all future cases. And if this report blew your mind, hit that like button. It lets us know which masterminds to investigate next. The case on Kenjaku is closed, but the case on his creation is just beginning. Even with him gone, his will was passed to Sukuna. The experiment is still running. The monster he wanted to create is still a very real threat. So that's your final assignment, agents. With Sukuna now in control of the plan, how does the endgame change? What do you think the final form of this merger will be? Present your analysis in the evidence locker below. The Bureau is always reading.